Hey everybody, it's Lon.TV, and if you click on that subscribe button on your favorite YouTube channel hoping to see everything that they upload, guess what? You won't. You probably know this already, but now the YouTube Liaison has admitted that subscriptions really don't matter as much as they used to. Let's get to it. Now, this video is being brought to you, as always, by all of you, including those of you who watch on a regular basis, defying the algorithmic odds, along with everyone who's been contributing to the channel either through my donor box page at Lon.TV/support or through Patreon, the YouTube membership program, and Floatplane. Thank you all for your continued support of the channel, even as we weather these difficult times with algorithmic discovery. Now let's get to the topic. Now this all transpired over the weekend when Rene Ritchie, otherwise known as the YouTube Liaison, posted a question on X, formerly known as Twitter, about their questions regarding the algorithm and how he might be able to help. And I saw this reply from someone named Curtis Judd, who makes product reviews of audio and visual production tools, and I have been subscribed to him forever, but I never ever see his stuff in my homepage feed. And because the subscriber tab is such a mess, which I'll talk about in a minute, I never see his stuff there either. So I haven't watched a Curtis Judd video in years. And when I went to his channel after seeing his tweet, I remembered who he was and I started going through all of his videos and I was like, wow, there's so much here that I want to see and have missed. And I'm really ticked off about it because I clicked on the subscribe button with the intention of YouTube putting this stuff in front of me so I could decide whether to watch it or not. And I've missed out on a lot of good content here from Curtis. And apparently I'm not alone. He's hearing from people quite frequently now who are wondering where he's been, yet he's been there posting stuff all the time. I had very similar comments on my video last week where I told you all that I'm not quitting YouTube, but talked about some of the challenges that I'm facing, and this video is kind of a sequel to that one. And I heard from a lot of people there too who've got this video put in front of them, but hadn't seen me for a really long time before that. So what happened here? Well, the YouTube Liaison did respond to Curtis, and he provided, I think, some very interesting details about what YouTube thinks of subscriptions these days. And he opens by saying that remember that YouTube doesn't push videos for creators, it pulls them for viewers, at least on the homepage. And he says it's mostly a matter of time. There's effectively limitless content, yet incredibly limited time. I'll agree with that. Now here's the cop-out. Any subscriber can go to the subfeed where the ranking is chronological and your video will 100% be there. But whether they click on it or scroll down far enough to see it is a matter of how many videos they have time to watch and whether they choose yours to be one of them. But it also involves when is the viewer ready to sit down and watch something. And if they're only going to the subscription tab, if your upload time doesn't line up with that user's schedule, they're going to miss the video because it's a fire hose that just keeps running. Yet on the homepage, it will pull out older videos and put them in front of people if they think it might be a good match for them, almost irrespective most of the time of subscription status. Now he goes on to say that homepage recommendations are the same, but ranking is based on performance and personalization. If someone subbed recently and is watching a lot of your videos, it's probably a very strong signal. Here's what really ticked me off. If they subbed at 13 and are now 18 and are watching very different topics and creators, it's probably a weaker signal. So what they're saying here is that YouTube is going to decide that that subscription is not valid because it's been in existence for so long. And they're basically deciding for the viewer which channels they should see versus not, as opposed to that viewer saying, you know what, I'm 18 years old now, I'm not interested in that channel anymore. Why not let them unsubscribe and make the choice themselves rather than having a tech company's algorithm do it for you? Rene continues to say that in our heads, we have unlimited time and we think we'd watch everything, but in reality, we have those hard limits, hard choices, and opportunity costs. Don't disagree at all, but shouldn't the viewer make that decision themselves? Now he goes on to say if they're missing you, they can go to the subs tab, another cop-out statement here, or you have a hot topic or overperforming video that breaks back into recommendations or suggestions and they start watching you more, you'll probably show up more and rank higher in recommendations going forward. But then those slots in that time won't go to someone else. And so basically what he's saying here is that if you have a subscriber who doesn't watch every single thing you put up, at some point they're going to pull you out of that recommendations homepage and put other stuff in front of the viewer. And this is how these algorithms kind of steer people's interests. If they see that you're really into a topic, for some length of time, you'll get more and more content on that topic at the expense of another one. And because for me, YouTube is kind of like my main way of watching television, the algorithm doesn't always work for me because I'm not always seeing the diverse set of interests that I have. And I've had to come up with all these alternative ways to work around it, which I'll show you later in the review. Now let's take a look at this from a creator perspective. I'm going to show you a little detail here from my channel. Now what you're looking at here is a chart of my thumbnail impressions from 2018 through 2024. Now this is not video views, but how often a viewer saw my thumbnail and presumably had the choice to watch me or not. And back in 2018, I had fewer subscribers. In fact, I had only 207,000 at the end of 2018, yet I was getting much more traffic on the subscription tab. We had 10.5 million impressions when I only had 207,000 subscribers. Now, certainly that's not all of my subscribers seeing my thumbnail, but clearly more people were either using the sub tab back then or there were more people on YouTube, because today, as you can see, the subscription tab is only accounting for about 22% or so of my overall thumbnail impressions, and the trend here has been going down considerably. And remember, we're not talking about views going down here, we're talking about thumbnail impressions decreasing, and if people were using the sub tab like Renee says they should be doing, you would be seeing these numbers go up along with my subscriber base, but they're moving in opposite directions. And the reason is that people aren't using this tool because it stinks right now. And although I know it works for a number of you watching, and I will hear from people about how great it is for how you're consuming YouTube, the majority of YouTube viewers are not using it, and the few times that they stumble into it, it just doesn't work for them because, quite honestly, it sucks right now. And I'm going to show you all the ways it sucks and how it can get better. So the worst iteration right now of the subscription tab has to be on the desktop side. What happens here is that you have absolutely no sortation tools whatsoever. You're just given the fire hose in the order in which things were uploaded. Again, if you don't have many channels that you're subscribed to, this works fine. But what I've noticed over the years, having subscribed to a number of news channels, both local and national, they all tend to upload their news packages all at once, either right before or right after their nightly newscast or whatever. And so you end up seeing pages of just the same channel because it doesn't stack them together. There's just no way to deal with it. So sometimes you might find something you've been missing, but generally coming here, especially with a large number of subscriptions, just doesn't work for me. Now you do have a manage button here, but look how awful this interface is. So if you wanted to go and tend the garden and maybe get rid of a few channels that you're not watching anymore, it's just hard to get at them very quickly because there's just this very small interface where you don't have a lot of room to make adjustments. And if I go to unsubscribe from a channel, for example, here, I can do it, but it's not the most ideal interface. It takes a while to get through all of this stuff. So this needs a lot of work, especially on desktop. So this is the mobile subscription tab. You'll find it right down here. And it's a little better than what we saw on the desktop side in that there are some sortation capabilities here that are lacking on the desktop app. So for example, right now we're on the all, which is giving me the fire hose, starting with live videos first. This guy, Steve Lato, he's an attorney and an absolute machine. This guy cranks out like several videos a day. They're all very informative and entertaining. Now, if I tap on today here, I will only get things that were uploaded today. I could even narrow it down to just videos or shorts or live, so I have a little bit of narrowing the focus a bit if I want. What I also like is that I can click on continue watching. So if there was a video from a favorite channel that I had started and haven't finished, I can continue that. It would only show me what was partially watched. I can also see only things that I haven't watched yet, especially if I did go through a few of the videos that were in my subscription feed. Now up here, you're going to see channels. Now here's the problem. These channels are not being listed in the order in which videos were uploaded, but rather what the algorithm thinks are my favorite channels. I can't decide the weight of how these channels get put here. So for example, I love this guy Law Talk with Mike. I'm kind of a law nerd outside of being a tech nerd. And it's fun to watch his channel because he gets all these crazy Zoom court cases and comments on them. And I put it on in the morning when I'm having breakfast, or if I'm just looking for some background stuff, I put that on there. NSF, of course, is the space channel that I contribute to, and they have so much great content here all the time. And it's nice to be able to narrow these things down, but I really want to be able to choose what goes up here, because I don't necessarily want to see all of these channels sorted like this, even though I like a lot of them. I have a few more that I don't want to miss, like Curtis Judd's channel, that I want to go here. It doesn't mean that I'm going to watch every one of these videos, but at least I know what they're up to and I can make the decision. But right now, the sortation and the weighting of how these channels get here is up to the algorithm and not to you. And I think if they made that one little change where you could decide the order in which these channels appear up here, I think that would go a long way. And then, of course, we've got the TV interface here. And I'm running this on a Google TV with the latest updates, but this will behave very similarly on other platforms. And to get to the subscription tab, you got to go all the way down on the interface here to this button. And when you click on it, you will see this. Now, like the mobile interface, there are channels that it thinks you want to see more frequently, again, algorithmically determined, but you only get the top 7 here. On the mobile devices, you have a much longer list of top channels, and you can't change it, and again, you can't decide what goes over there. But it does work when it does pick up a channel that you do want to see more frequently. So here's NSF. I can scroll through all the latest videos. What I also like is that I could click on Play All, and it will just play them in order. That's pretty handy on a television. But again, it's a very Spartan interface here with no real control or additional filtering. So overall, as you can see here, the subscription tab is kind of an afterthought for YouTube. They need to have it there so that you don't complain about it. But by and large, it could be a lot better, and people could start using it more if it had a little more functionality. And adding some functionality like weighting and filtering doesn't mess up the experience for everyone else who likes it the way it is, because you can decide how to sort things out. But at the moment, it just doesn't work for me and hasn't for a long time. So how am I dealing with it? Well, let me show you what I am doing to make sure that I don't miss some of my favorite channels in different topics that I like to follow. So this is my RSS Reader. I subscribe to a service called Buzzcocks, but there are many other RSS readers out there, some of them free, that deliver similar functionality. Now, if you don't know what RSS is, it stands for Really Simple Syndication, and it's kind of a backbone standard of content delivered over the web. And a big credit to YouTube, because they are one of the last social media platforms that still supports RSS. And so I can take the channels that I really love and put them in buckets inside of my RSS reader, alongside with other websites that I like to read as well. So for example, one thing that rarely gets recommended to me on my YouTube homepage is content related to amateur radio, which is something that I have a lot of interest in. And so what I've done is I've taken some of my favorite channels, like Tech Minds here, and dropped their RSS feeds for their YouTube channel into my category here inside of my RSS reader for amateur radio. So now I never miss what they are posting. And what's great about this is that if I click through to watch the video on my YouTube account, it actually improves my recommendations for a while, because I'm able to kind of reset my watch history, which is always based on recency to a large degree, and kind of get the algorithm back on track if I was consuming a little too much law nerd stuff one day. Here's my retro gaming section here. This is a better example of how I mix all these different things together. So for example, I've got the Retro RGB website in here, but I also have the Happy Console Gamer's YouTube channel in here as well, because I don't think he has his own website. So you can really integrate this nicely. Now you'll also notice that I have my content sorted by topic. This is something you can't do on the subscription tab, yet on the homepage recommendations, it will give you sortation options based on the topic of the content. And this would be a great feature to add to the subscription feed. But this is what I have to do to get around the algorithm not always following my interests. So what have I been doing to rectify this situation for you? Unfortunately, there are not many ways that I can do it. One way that I did find that is marginally successful are my email lists. And I've got a weekly list at Lon.TV/email, and that will give you every video that I upload over the last week, plus a few others. Let me show you what that looks like. Now, the weekly email generally comes out on Sunday mornings, my time here. And what I give you are all of the videos that I did since the last newsletter. And then I also give you a write-up of every video that I uploaded here. And as we scroll down, you can also see that I have older videos that go back a little bit further. So I can at least give you everything that I've uploaded, and you can decide what you want to click on. I also have some items for sale. And then we've got my link blog here, which gives you some of the interesting links that I have discovered over the course of the week as well. So a lot of people click on a lot of different things, and it's kind of fun to share with you my thoughts in a written format. And this actually lines up with my blog, which you can find at blog.Lon.TV, because the other thing I've been working on is improving my Google search results. YouTube does come up on Google quite a bit, but sometimes people are looking for written content versus video content. So every video I upload, I do a write-up and put it up here on the blog, and then this stuff gets sucked into the newsletter. So I'm trying to do a little bit more on my own here so that people know I still exist. But it's really hard, and I think if YouTube would at least improve the subscriber tab a bit, add some more functionality, and give users the choice. I don't think there's anything wrong with algorithmic recommendations. I think it's helped grow my channel quite a bit. I don't think that should go away. But the alternative should still be there, and it should give the users some way to customize their list of channels that they're subscribed to in a way that works for them. And right now, it really doesn't. If you go on your homepage right now on the recommendation side, you'll find all sorts of different filtering options to narrow down what you're looking for. You don't see that in the subscriber tab at all. I suppose if I get rid of some of my subscriptions, it might work a little better, but I think YouTube could put a little bit more effort in, and I think I would stop complaining if they did. That's going to do it for this one. Let me know what you thought down in the comment section, and until next time, this is Lon Seidman. Thanks for watching.